Welcome to FoodPoint. This week's recipe is for pork cutlets with creamy mustard gnocchi. This was requested by my flatmate's mother, who I cooked this for a couple of years ago when she was visiting. If this dish seems familiar to you, well, that's because technically it's not my recipe, it's Nigella's, as featured in episode 1 of Nigella Express, although I have made some changes. If you've never heard of Nigella before, then you should head over to her page as soon as possible. She's probably my biggest cooking influence, and hopefully she'll be one of yours too. To make my version of this recipe, you'll need 6 pork cutlets, with most of the fat trimmed off, 300 ml of premium apple cider, 300 ml of pure or single cream, 500 grams of potato gnocchi, 2 tablespoons of whole grain seeded mustard, and some salt and pepper. Heat some oil in a large pan over medium-high heat, then place the cutlets in a single layer. Fry for 5 minutes on one side before turning over and frying for another 5 minutes on the other side. Then remove the cutlets from the pan and wrap in some foil until you need them. Leave the pan on the heat and add in the cider, then stir to deglaze the pan. Next, stir in the mustard, then add the cream and stir until combined. Also add a generous pinch of salt and pepper. Leave the sauce to simmer and place a pot of slightly salted water onto a high heat. Once the sauce has simmered for around 5 minutes, it will have thickened and reduced slightly. Return the cutlets to the pan along with any juices that are left behind in the foil. By now, the pot of water should be boiling, so add in the gnocchi. Once the cutlets have been simmering in the sauce for around a minute, turn them over and simmer for another minute before removing from the pan. The gnocchi should have now floated to the surface, which means it's cooked, so strain it and add it to the sauce. Stir the gnocchi through the sauce for a couple of minutes over the heat until the sauce has thickened further, then it's ready to serve. I like to sprinkle a generous pinch of pepper over the top, as well as some Parmesan cheese. Then add a couple of cutlets and spoon over some of the sauce. For some other quick and simple dinner ideas, please click the boxes, and if you like what you see, subscribe and stay tuned for more. Please also check out my blog at www.foodpointhq.blogspot.com for more in-depth recipe instructions. If you have a recipe request, please send me an email or message and it may be featured in a future episode. Until next time, happy eating!